There's two things at play here. First off, the breakdown of the basketball I thought was A+. I thought that was great. He said he wants more basketball questions. He gave us more basketball answers right there. I thought that was incredible. I loved how he called it gimmick defense. Guarding the three-point line now is a gimmick defense in the NBA. That's what we've arrived at, okay? Thought that was an A+. But what we're witnessing here is the path to self-realization for Kevin Durant. I don't think it's self-realization. I like him saying, you know who I am. But I was never under any question whether he didn't know who he was on the basketball court. I think he knew who he wanted to be on the basketball court. I think this is still static in his head on what's outside the basketball court. And that's what Patrick Beverley's feasting on right now. This is how you have a game where Kevin Durant, fewer shot attempts than turnovers. That cannot happen in the NBA playoffs.
Well, Tony, you know as well as I do, this is a carryover from the regular season. You and I talked about it.
This is a carryover for his whole career.
Yes, but he has really changed into the guy that now is getting ejections, now getting technical fouls, in danger, if they continue to play in the series, in danger of being suspended for a game. This was not his kind of game before, but he has to realize this gimmicky defense is the same defense that Houston ran against him last year because Chris Paul was getting in his face all the time, getting inside his body.
But I want to talk to Steven and Max here, okay? Because I can't hash this out on Around the Horn. I need to go to a show like First Take where we can really open up a bottle and let it breathe a little bit. I think Kevin Durant views himself as the object of other people's sentences and not the subject of his own sentences. This is the first time we heard him say, I am Kevin Durant. He actually did in the third person. Yeah. 3 people here, I'm excluding you, Molly, comfortable speaking about themselves in the third person. Did you hear Kevin Durant as an alpha apex predator yesterday, or did you hear him yesterday as a guy who wanted to be thought of as that?
I understand why you asked that question. It occurs to everybody when they watch the video. I loved what KD did yesterday because of what you identified earlier. So a lot of times we do this armchair psychologist, hand-wringing stuff like I always bring up about Russell Westbrook. If Russell Westbrook shot 35% for his career, 38% from 3, there wouldn't be any armchair psychology because they just win because he hits more shots. I think a lot of that is what's going on with KD now. We've seen him go from an insecure kid, and he's still not perfectly comfortable in his own skin, but much more so, I think, than he used to be, to a man who is now trying to assert himself, and he's saying, look, ask me basketball questions. And when they did,
he was great.
He gave them basketball answers.
That was the best basketball answer of the season.
When he says, you know who I am, I'm Kevin Durant. He's talking about himself in the third person. You're like, the question is he puffing himself up? Is it an ego? Is it a bluff, kind of? Is he peacocking? I think he's really just breaking it down. He's like, come on, you can't stop me one-on-one. Do you all really think Patrick Beverley can stop me? It's not that I'm playing him one-on-one. There's help coming. He's just kind of pointing it out. I love that, KD. It's not perfect, but it's a huge improvement from what we've seen in recent years, that kind of answer.
I agree with you, Max. And here's the deal. I think we need to be incredibly, incredibly careful about being ultra-critical about Kevin Durant with these words. The reason I say that is because he gave you what we salivate
what we
for
asked
and
for
crave
and have asked for a decade.
For every athlete. I mean, to break down exactly what's going on. Purely basketball talk here. The level of appreciation that I have for what he broke down, I cannot say enough. Because when he's talking about a gimmick defense, he's basically saying, listen, he's going to come at me, he's going to try to agitate, irritate me, or whatever. But he got help in the paint. So he knows there's a limit to where I can go because there's somebody waiting there for me. Not to mention the fact that this is basketball, so I'm going to make the right play. I'm going to make the pass. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. So this is what he's talking about. That's his thinking. That's his mindset. And if you notice, whether you agree with him or not, it is consistent with who he has been. Because religiously, we've looked at Kevin Durant, and we've said this is one of the elite scorers the game has ever seen. He can take over whenever he wants offensively. So why doesn't he do it? Why won't he be more aggressive? We've asked those questions about him in the past. So he's breaking down, and the level of reticence that he may have echoed, the reticence that he may have echoed is consistent with his personality. Having said all of that, this is my last point. All you have to do is understand this. Here's where Kevin Durant is wrong. There are moments where that don't matter. There are moments where we're struggling, we're losing this lead, we got to stop the bleeding.
Absolutely.
Move the hell out the way.
Yeah.
And he didn't do that. So I appreciate the explanation.
Well, no,
and
he
he's
did.
right.
Real quick, Woody.
Right.
He did, because all of that explanation led to him saying, I know Patrick Beverley's going to come at me and be the pest. That's how he feeds his family. But then when I'm giving it back to him, don't throw me out the game. Let us play. He's saying he wants to take those moments and do his thing, but when he tries to assert himself, he's getting.
But he knows they're not going to do that,
everything.
Max, because of all the technical fouls he had this year, because he's been complaining about that all year. So you know the referees ain't going to do it, so why bring it up?
Right, but the technical fouls is proof that he is not fully arrived at
Woody's been muted the whole segment without mute button.
Kevin Durant. He said, you know who Kevin Durant is. The technical fouls all season is proof that he's still not.
Sorry, Tony, I'm going to have to mute.
But Stephen A., you know, what you bring to the table here, the bottom line at the end of the day is you're wrong. He has got to be above this. I mean,
above what?
He's got to be above the pettiness with the guy that's pestering him. You know, you're saying, when he gets kicked out, why is he even engaging? Why is he engaging?
But we don't disagree there. We don't disagree there because he can't get ejected in game one. He can't foul out in game two. You're absolutely right. But what I'm saying is when he breaks down, the nuances is what's transpiring on the court. Yeah. I'm saying he's got to overcome it anyway.
But why is he doing that? Why is he bringing himself to a level? You're praising him. You're praising him because he answered about basketball. He's talking about the defense. He should be thinking about himself, not the way. I have never seen a great player spend so much time talking about a pest.
So much time, he spent 1 minute and 30 seconds. He answered the question.
Hey, around the board, we're on by himself by that point. You know, that's a lot of time.
That is a lot of time in my life. The way my life is.
Oh, please.
But I can't
argue with that.
Michael Jordan.
To your point.
Michael,